guys, the details about that. Before we get into today's video, I just want to let you guys know that this video is for educational purposes only. Please remember to be kind to everybody everywhere, in your everyday life, in your home, in the grocery store, and especially in the comment section down below. Please do not show hate to anybody, anywhere. So good morning, good morning, good morning. How is everybody doing today? I hope you all are having an amazing day. I hope everybody is enjoying Spooky Week. So in today's video, we are going to be talking about a young woman who went to go and stay at the infamous Cecil Hotel. Now, for those of y'all that have ever stayed in hotels or Airbnbs, I want you to envision going and staying in a hotel, going to take a shower, and the water coming out of the shower and the water being black, or brushing your teeth and noticing that the water that you're brushing your teeth with tastes very funny, like a super off taste, so off and bizarre and weird that you're calling down to the front desk and saying something is wrong with the water. Before we get into it, though, I did want to let you guys know, if you don't already know, hi, my name is Christina. I do have a second channel, which is Casually Christina. We just do things way more casually over there. I also have a Patreon. My Patreon's for 18 and up, and over there we talk about more personal stuff. We go live over there. There is a $2 tier for all the true crime stuff that cannot go onto YouTube due to their terms and policies. I post that over on my Patreon under the $2 tier. I also am on Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat, and I'm also on Like to Know It, and Like to Know It is the platform where you can find links to a lot of the things that you guys like or ask about that I use, or things that I use, basically, like clothing items, cooking items, household items, gifts that I've bought for my husband, gifts that I've bought for other people, just basically any range of item. I can post those links on my Like to Know It, and all of those platforms are linked down in the description box if you would like to come and check me out. So, okay, let's just start at the beginning. Elisa Lam was born on April 13th of 1991 in Vancouver, Canada, to her parents, David and Yenna Lam. David and Yenna were both immigrants, and they were from Hong Kong. They moved to Canada and opened a little restaurant in Burnaby, British Columbia. Elisa had a fairly normal childhood from everything that I could find. I mean, she ended up going on to University Hill Secondary School and then the University of British Columbia. In 2010, Elisa grew an interest in blogging, and over the next 2 years, she would post blogs with lots of pictures of things like models and fashion and stories of her life, and just like little favorite quotes of hers. In the few posts that she posted that were about her own life, Elisa talked about her struggles with her mental health. She had been diagnosed with bipolar disorder, and she had also been diagnosed with depression. Elisa's family mostly kept Elisa's mental struggles private, but from what we do know is that she was on multiple different medications for her mental struggles. But the family allegedly did say that she never had any kind of like ideation, like the end it all type of thoughts. Elisa also had a history of not taking her medication. Allegedly, Elisa and her family both say this because they say that she had several incidents of her having hallucinations that would cause her to hide under her bed. She was hospitalized at least once for one of these episodes. However, Elisa was still living a relatively normal life. And if you guys don't know, sometimes these medications, these different mental health medications, we will say like that, they can have adverse effects and all different types of things. But in January of 2013, Elisa, who was 21 years old at this time, decided to take this solo trip around the U.S. West Coast. She was taking a break from her studies in college, and she wanted to explore and see what life was like away from home. This did make Elisa's family a little nervous. They did not really want her to travel alone, like most parents don't want their 21-year-olds or daughters or sons to travel around the country alone. However, Elisa made them a compromise. she promised that she would check in with her parents every single day. On January 26th, she arrived in Los Angeles, California, and she had taken an Amtrak train from San Diego and she was headed to Santa Cruz. 2 days later, Elisa checked into the Cecil Hotel in downtown LA. Now, if you don't know, the Cecil Hotel is located in what we will call a sketchy area, to say the least. It's located right next to LA's Skid Row, which is one of the largest populations of people that are, you can say, houseless, homeless, living in tents. All of those different terms is one of the biggest populations of that in the U.S. It covers 50 blocks just east of downtown LA and has one of the highest crime rates in all of the US. When I went to LA with my husband at one point, we decided to drive down Skid Row so we could see it for ourselves. And it's truly, the videos that you can see online of it do it no justice. When you are driving continuously and it's just tents and tents and tents and boxes and tents, it seems like it goes on forever. The Cecil Hotel itself isn't really considered to be the nicest hotel in the world either, especially back in 2013. However, when it opened in 1924, it was considered a luxury hotel. But then the Great Depression hit and the hotel went downhill from there. In 2011, the hotel was renamed Stay on Main. It was 14 stories and had 700 guest rooms available. But by this point, the hotel had quite a past. There were several reported deaths there, ranging from accidental passings, unnatural passings, and even some end-it-alls. There were also numerous reports of guests experiencing paranormal activity. Back in the 1980s, this hotel was the temporary residence of a serial killer named Richard Ramirez, also known as the Night Stalker. According to reports, he committed 14 slayings while he was living there. Another serial killer, Jack Underwedge, stayed at the Cecil Hotel in 1991. While he was there, he ended the lives of at least 3 different women. Also, Elizabeth Short, known as the Black Dahlia, was reportedly seen drinking at the hotel bar in the days before her gruesome demise in 1947. Not even to mention that employees have had plenty of experiences of their own there. The local police officers said that they used to get at least 3 calls every single day from the Cecil Hotel. So I think it goes without saying that there was a lot of, we'll just say, energy at the Cecil Hotel. Now back to Elisa. When she got there, she was initially assigned a shared room on the 5th floor. However, her roommates complained about her having like this odd behavior. They told the manager that Elisa was leaving them notes that said, "Go home," and "go away," which gives me the heebie-jeebies in itself. They said that she would also lock the door and require that they give her a password before she would unlock it and allow them back into the room. So Elisa was moved to her own room just 2 days later. When they moved her to her own room, this was room 506. Now, it has also been reported that during her stay, Elisa went to a live taping of the Conan show, but was escorted off the premises due to disruptive behavior. However, Elisa had been keeping her promise to her parents by contacting them every single day. And according to them, nothing seemed off about Elisa in all the conversations that they had with her. But then, everything changed on the day that Elisa was supposed to check out of the Cecil Hotel. On January 31st of 2013, Elisa had not checked in with her parents. They got really worried and they contacted the Los Angeles Police Department. When the officers arrived, they searched the entire hotel, but they could not find Elisa anywhere. They even brought out scent dogs that were able to track Elisa's scent to a window, but nowhere beyond it. Now, it is important to note that the officers said that they could only search the public areas of the hotel and the rooms that were unoccupied. They couldn't just like bust into every single person's room there and search their room because a young lady, 21-year-old, is missing according to her parents, right? Now, employees at the hotel, however, say that they only ever saw Elisa alone, so the investigators did not believe that she would be in anyone else's room anyways. Meanwhile, Elisa's family flew in from Canada to help search for her. Now, after searching the hotel and not being able to find Elisa, officers decided to take a look at the hotel's security camera footage. This is when they found this truly bizarre footage of Elisa in one of the hotel's elevators acting strange. Authorities released the footage to the public in hopes that someone would recognize Elisa and know where she was. Now, to say that this video went viral would be a complete understatement. Just due to how strangely Elisa was acting in it, it gained millions of views all across the world. Online sleuths were very quick to start trying to figure out what exactly happened to Elisa, and several theories emerged. Some thought Elisa was acting that way because she was trying to escape from someone. Some thought that she was under like some sort of influence, which is what I originally was thinking when I saw this, especially where the hotel is. Like, is she doing something? Was she drinking? Others thought that she may have been having a mental episode, and some even thought that she might have been possessed by a demon. But still, no one could find Elisa until on February 19th, 2 weeks after Elisa went missing, a maintenance worker named Santiago Lopez found Elisa's deceased body floating in one of the hotel's water tanks. The only reason Santiago even thought to look in the water tank was because guests at the hotel had been complaining of low water pressure and a weird taste coming from the tap water. You guys, the details about that. Each of these water tanks held 1,000 gallons of water. Now, this water was fed straight into the guest rooms, the kitchen, and the coffee shop. According to a statement made by the chief of the Los Angeles Fire Department, the tank had to be drained completely and then cut open from the side to remove Elisa's body from it. To this day, no one really knows how Elisa ended up in this tank. But there was, of course, an investigation and several different theories. According to investigators, the last person to see Elisa alive was a woman named Katie. She was the manager of a nearby shop called The Last Bookstore, where Elisa had bought books and music for her family back in Vancouver the day that she went missing. Katie said that Elisa was very outgoing, she was lively, she was very friendly. Nothing about Elisa's behavior seemed off to Katie. This told the investigators that it at least seemed like Elisa was, at the very slightest, she was planning on going back home, meaning if she was there this day buying these gifts to take back to her family, then they did not believe that she would be trying to end her own life. Investigators had a nagging problem to solve, though. How did Elisa get onto the roof and into this giant water tank? First of all, the doors and the stairs that access the hotel's roof are locked, and any attempt to force them open triggers this alarm that could be heard by the staff and the guests on the top floors. Now, the fire escape could have been the way that Elisa got up there, but remember, earlier I said that the officer brought out scent dogs that did lead them to a window. This window led out onto the fire escape. But how did Elisa get into the water tank? All 4 of these tanks were 4 foot by 8 foot with heavy latch lids on top. There have been all kinds of different reports about whether or not the hatch lid was open or if it was closed when the maintenance worker found Elisa. In his initial report to the police, he said that it was open, but the hotel claims that they always kept them closed. Investigators say that they did bring scent dogs up to the roof during the initial search, but none of them detected Elisa's scent, which is so bizarre, okay? When the autopsy results came out, because I was so curious, again, in that neighborhood, in that town, did somebody slip something in a drink? Was she drinking? Which any kind of alcohol or substances mixed with certain types of medications or even certain mental illnesses can just be so dangerous. So I'm like, what is in the toxicology and the autopsy? However, when this autopsy came out, it only created more questions versus answering all of the ones that people had. The autopsy said that Elisa died as a result of drowning, with her bipolar disorder being a significant contributor in her death. It said that there was no evidence of trauma, and the toxicology report showed that Elisa had consumed some of her prescription medications, but no illegal substances and no alcohol, okay? Therefore, the medical examiner ruled the manner of death as accidental. The full coroner's report was released later, and it said that Elisa was found completely nude. Her clothing was also found in the tank with her, and it was the same clothing that Elisa was seen wearing in the elevator video that we looked at earlier. The report also said, though, that her clothing was covered in a sand-like material. Elisa's watch and her room key were in the tank as well. So after doing what they considered a thorough investigation, authorities ruled that Elisa had died of accidental drowning. They believe that she was having some sort of mental episode and she climbed into the water tank and she was not able to get back out. They also believed that there was no foul play involved. But let's talk about the weird aftermath of this, because this was not just an easy explanation. And strange things kept coming up about Elisa's case. Many noticed that the autopsy report was incomplete and it had some inconsistencies to it. This report did not say what the results of Lisa's R kit and her fingernail kit were, or if they were ever even processed. It also says that there was a pooling blood, which some would say was a sign of SA. Also in the autopsy report, it shows that the manner of death had been changed from could not be determined to accidental. Rumors all around say that this medical examiner changed it after receiving pressure from law enforcement. But the examiner says that it was just a clerical error, and that is a huge clerical error to go from cannot be determined to, okay, we've got it figured out. Nevertheless, there's those sand particles that were found on Elisa's clothing. Where did they come from? Why wasn't she wearing her clothes in the tank in the first place? Another thing, many online sleuths have pointed out that the elevator video of Elisa appears to be altered. Also, very strangely, Elisa's Tumblr blog was updated after she passed away. Her phone was never found after her passing either. Apparently, Tumblr had an option that allowed users to set publish dates for posts in the future, so it was either that or it was that somebody stole her phone and posted on her account. Either way, it was very chilling to see her account updating even after she was gone. Something else that was very strange, the circumstances of Elisa's passing have been compared to a movie that came out in 2005 called Dark Water. In this movie, a mother and a daughter moved into a rundown apartment building. A broken elevator and discolored water eventually left them to the apartment complex's rooftop water tank, where they found the body of a girl who had been reported missing from the building a year prior. How bizarre is that? Remember, this situation with Elisa happened years after this movie came out. Not to mention, many ghost hunters have been to the Cecil Hotel and claimed that there are demonic spirits haunting it. Now, Elisa's parents did file a wrongful death lawsuit in September of 2013 against the hotel, and in it, they claimed that the hotel failed to inspect and seek out hazards in the hotel that presented an unreasonable risk of danger to Elisa and other hotel guests. The hotel argued that they could not have reasonably foreseen that Elisa might have entered these water tanks, and because it was still unknown how Elisa even got into them, no liability could be assigned for failing to present it. In 2005, the lawsuit was dismissed, and still to this day, there are no concrete answers as to what exactly happened to Elisa. So what do I think? Well, I see a lot of opinions are that she had a manic episode and that she crawled up there in her manic episode and went into the tank. However, I do not believe it exactly happened like that. I do not believe in ghosts, but I definitely believe in the spiritual realm, and I definitely believe in demonic entities, and I believe sometimes in certain situations and definitely in certain places, people can be left vulnerable to be affected by those forces. I believe that something else was at play with Elisa. Had there have been alcohol or substances in her system, I would have thought that there was a really good chance that a mixture of factors led her into that tank. I believe that it's demonic forces. And I believe that because even the elevator situation, see, when she went into that elevator, she was pressing the buttons. That elevator door stayed open for a very long time, like somebody was standing in it or somebody was keeping the door open. So many strange things have happened at this hotel, and I can tell you right now, I would sleep in a tent on the side of the road on Skid Row before I stayed in that hotel ever. That's my personal opinion. That's just, I'm not giving y'all any advice of where to stay, but I'm telling you, I would not be staying there at all. I also believe that when her parents were concerned with her traveling alone and they wanted her to check in every day, that seemed like normal parent behavior. You're 21, you're a female by yourself traveling. Call us and check in every day to let us know that you are okay. They did not have somebody following her because she was so fragile with her mental diagnosis that she could do something this off the wall. I just don't see that being the whole picture. I believe that she was affected by something in that hotel. Too many strange things have happened there, and they can't all be a coincidence. What do y'all think? Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Other than that, I love y'all. Thank y'all so much for watching this video, and I will see y'all in the next one. Love you guys. Bye.